So I didn't think crying in the bathroom of the boxing gym could get any worse, but this past week I had to wipe my ass with my bare hands.
Do you want to start the show?
Yeah. Should we discuss?
I think you can't just say that and not address it at least a little further. I'll let you handle it.
Yeah. So I'm not the poop guy, right? Like, oh, I just took this massive dick. Oh, can't wait to tell you about it. Like, that's not me. That's not my character.
Right.
But man, I was at work, and we work at different people's houses. We don't use their bathrooms, so if you really have to go, you just drive to a gas station, and no pun intended, it's a crapshoot on what the place is going to be like, because we're in different places all the time. So I'm...
A crapshoot, you say?
A crapshoot, I said, yes. So I take off. I'm at a Sinclair, right? Waze loves Sinclairs with their little dinosaur logos everywhere. That's how I knew where that particular one
Reminds
was.
me of Toy Story for some reason. Or it did until I heard you tell this story to me.
So I'm in there. It is my... It's, it was brought on by some coffee, so you already kind of know what you're getting into. And I'm finishing up, and I'm looking for the toilet paper, and there's no roll there. And I just thought, this is a double roll toilet paper holder. No worries. There must be another roll on the other side. And there's nothing there. And I'm still trying to stay calm, saying, no worries, man. I'll just use some paper towels. I'm sure the plumbing can handle a couple pieces. And I look over, and it is one of the hand dryer situations. And
Was there any chance there was a photographer there to take the picture of your face the minute you realized there was no paper towels either?
I wish. I mean, it was a missed opportunity for sure. I feel like it could have been a great Lizard People of New York, account photo. I don't know if you've
Lizard People?
I don't know if you're aware of that one.
I saw the humans. I've followed Humans of New York. I've yet to see the Lizard People of New York.
It's a parody,
Gotcha.
So I know the situation.
I almost picture Ron Howard in Arrested Development like, surely there's paper towels there, Michael. There wasn't.
There wasn't.
There wasn't. Huge mistake.
So I had no option, and I thought...
before you go any further, at a youth basketball practice in my childhood, there was a guy who had heard his dad's bring a joke back from his hunting camp or something, and it was not a very good joke. It was just one of those things that you hear your friends say because it's naughty. But he said, when you're sitting on the john and all the toilet paper's gone, be a man and use your hand.
Use your hand, right.
And he thought it was really, really, he was amused, as was I, because it's so disgusting. And I have not thought about that concept at all until this week. And I'll let you take it as far or as little or as you want, as you feel comfortable, because this is scarring and gruesome, I think, for everyone involved. I think Julie, Matt, Amanda, Captain Boogaloo, the whole gang. I think we have to have some respect.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about what your next 3 moves were.
So my first move was to just justify what I was about to do. So, I was just thinking, clearly at some point in history, this has been done before. I am not the first person to do this exact thing. I knew that.
Right. Which is what again?
Wiping my ass with my bare f***ing hand.
Okay, cool. I don't know if we had said it yet. We probably have twice already before that moment, but just checking. Everyone on the same page.
So I kind of taking deep breaths. I'm trying to just push through it, and I kind of waddle with my pants down over to the sink, and I wipe. I turn on the water, and I wipe, and I just repeat the process, trying not to look too much. But the worst part of this whole thing is as I'm rinsing my hand with water and wiping again, that water is now dripping down my legs, which I can only imagine is poop water dripping down my legs. And again, there's no way to dry my ass in my legs, so I'm just trying to do the best job I can. Put my pants back on. I wash my hands maybe 14 times, right? And I walk out. At this point, I have to buy something. So I buy a bag of Doritos, and I ask the attendant for toilet paper for the bathroom. And he gives me this look because we made eye contact as I walked out of the bathroom. He knew I was in there for a while. And if I need toilet paper now, he knows I needed toilet paper 5 minutes ago. He's probably piecing together what the just happened in there. And I turn around hoping he doesn't see poop water running down my legs. And I go in, I fix the situation, and here I am today, a different man.
So you took toilet paper that you bought into the bathroom again?
No, I just asked him for the, big toilet paper rolls.
And he gave you one?
Yeah.
And you brought that and the Doritos back with you into the bathroom?
I might have brought the Doritos in the bathroom with me.
At what point were the Doritos consumed, and at what point did you decide on Doritos being the item you purchased to make the visit kosher?
For some reason, I felt like it had to be believable, and I figured Doritos are something someone who looks like me would buy, and it's absolutely true. I don't know. I just...
There's a deeper psychological something there that we don't necessarily have time for this week. You just pigeonholing yourself to that particular potato chip or potato chips at all. You could have bought a copy of the Wall Street Journal or something, but you're like, nah, let's go. I'm going to Cool Ranch it up and then check now to see if he has any toilet paper back there. And then bring the chips back with me.
And then eat the chips with my other hand.
Then, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was... I'm not proud of it.
So you were sitting on the John, and all the toilet paper was gone. And you said, I'm a man, and I'm going to use my hand.
The fact that I use my hand is not determined by my sexual orientation or where I fall onto the gender spectrum. I just want to make that abundantly clear.
Right. That was in reference to that childhood rhyme that we referenced several minutes ago. But thank you for clarifying. So that's a wild fucking story. I do have one thing to say about the word waddle, in that I've only ever heard it in the context of waterfowl and shitting. Like it's only ever poop or duck related, and I just think that's a very interesting thing for a word to be, is only specifically in such two vastly different contexts. Tweet the show if you can think of a different time you've heard someone use the word waddle, and I would love to read it. That's a worthy conversation to me. Also, tweet the show if you think we should delve into the fact that Tom typecasted himself as a Dorito eater post bowel movement. I think that there's just a couple things that I took from that story, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really am.
It's so much with crying at the boxing gym and then that all in 1 week. It's
a tough week. I think by any standard, that's a bad week. It's not just like a tough week. I hate to say it, but that's a shit week, Tom.
But
I was thinking about the boxing gym encounter the other day. You talked about it on the show a little bit last week, talking about having an asthma attack, which forced you to tear up in the bathroom as you were kind of trying to catch your breath. And I was just thinking about like heart attacks and asthma attacks and somehow also midlife crises and quarter life crises and panic attacks and things like that. And for some reason, I couldn't get the concept out of my head, and we referenced it a little bit last week, of how hilarious to me it would be to have like a psychological breakdown, but also a physical thing happen and have them happen at the same time. Like if you were to have an asthma attack, but also a quarter life crisis hit at that moment. You know what I mean? Like,
and you were out of toilet paper?
no, toilet paper aside, just like, I don't really know. I wouldn't call what I'm doing a career. I've had a bad string of relationships. Lately, my breathing hasn't been so good, specifically the last few minutes. Just kind of having a totally youthful, weird breakdown inside your head and having a bad breathing be a part of that. It is not as funny as it is in my head, but nonetheless, I can't stop picturing you crying in that bathroom, I guess. So it has haunted me for days, and I needed to get that thought out of my head.
Oh, my God. Always think of me crying in the bathroom when you think of me at all.
Yeah, I just think it's just humorous to me. Just like lately, the breathing hasn't been so good. So
well,
that's
when we start our sketch comedy show, we can definitely have that bit in there.
Put it in as it fails to get laughs every single week. Like, I just believe in it so much.
Should we move on from the Dookie story to something a little more uplifting?
I don't know. Should we try to make the lately my breathing hasn't been so good line work a little more, or we'll workshop that maybe out
Okay.
there. And you can talk me out of trying to bring it back again next week. The midlife crisis / asthma attack has fallen flat 2 weeks in a row, and I will give it up if reasoned with appropriately. But that is not a discussion for this moment, obviously. Yeah, so you submitted the Elemental FM novella, Ron Carnage, Thinker Boy, to a publisher this week.
Yeah, it was an intense moment. You had helped me find publishing houses that had open submissions, which is where you can publish your work without a literary agent to do the in-between work there. And yeah, so we went for it and we submitted, we did the whole process. I think I did it exactly how they wanted me to. It was insanely stressful. Yeah, writing a cover letter and the synopsis of the story. It was really hard to portray how funny this thing is without like having to prove to them that it was funny. Like how do you portray that in one page, but also try to tell the storyline, but also you don't want to say the storyline isn't even important. It's just about the jokes. It was hard. It was harder than any job cover letter I've ever written, but it's done. It is sent off. We should be hearing back within 3 months on whether or not they want to publish the book, which would mean, God, they would help us edit and get the thing done and do the artwork. They would pay money. They would just give us money as an advance on like a salary, I guess. It just seems, I'm thinking far ahead because I'm excited, but it feels crazy to me because it was a joke. Like it was never meant to be this, and it now is. And yeah.
Right. And there's a very good chance that we will wait 3 months to hear back and have them say, I'm not sure I understand correctly what is this and what exactly is going on here. That could still happen and likely will, right? But we're allowed to be positive. You only submitted yesterday.
I think one of the things that I wrote in the cover letter was I was trying to explain who the target audience is. And I had a couple things in there, but one thing I said that I really liked is this novella is for people who can appreciate Lord of the Rings, but wish that it starred the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia instead. And I don't know if it's perfect.
Lord of the Rings is pretty good on its own, though, so that's a tough sell.
But
to improve upon.
There was a stand-up comedy bit. I think it might have been Judd Apatow was trying to explain it's super hard to pitch movies because you can only describe your movie by referencing others.
Oh.
And it was super, like, his bit was super funny, but I felt like I didn't want to try to compare it to anything because it's not like any of those things that I am aware
My only
of.
fear is that it would be too close to that bad James Franco, Danny McBride comedy, Your Highness, where they rescue Natalie Portman, or like Natalie Portman's like is a very good archer in the woods, and it's like a stoner comedy but set to the Robin Hood times.
Okay.
So that would be like the low end of the spectrum for Ron Carnage. Is kind of the biggest fear. Is they're like, it's like Robin Hood Men in Tights, and other people would be like, actually, it's more like Your Highness, and that's not good. It's a bad. I actually liked Your Highness. I thought it was funny, but
we'll see, man.
When do you think we'll hear back?
I hope we at least hear anything. Hearing a no is better than hearing nothing. But the good thing is, this was our first crack at it. We have the bulk of the synopsis and the cover letter done. We had to do it pretty quickly because the deadline was in like today. I think if you're hearing this on Friday, or maybe it was the day before, there wasn't much time. So we just had to get it out the door. Now we can really dissect it and get a really dope cover letter and synopsis for the other 100 publishers we're probably going to send it off to.
Well, we already, I think I sent you 3 or 4 that might be of interest, but we can talk about that later. The thing that popped into my head was coming up with names for the sequel already, even though the first one's not even technically done. What keeps coming to my head, and tweet at us if you have any other suggestions, but Ron Carnage, The Twin Towers is already taken. And Return of the Carnage, although that does sound amazing, we probably couldn't use. Ron Carnage 2, More Carnage would be good. Ron Carnage Tokyo Drift would again be going into just kind of stealing directly. Carnage 5. We could just go along the Fast and Furious franchise and mirror what all of those sequels were called.
Tokyo Drift.
The Fate of the Carnage. Or the Fate of the Flappy or something.
2 Ron, 2 Carnage.
Yeah, exactly. Ron has like a weird, I actually love that. Like he has a weird evil twin or something.
God.
2 Ron, 2 Carnage. That's good. I actually really like that.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. But then I thought we could even do like cheesy sports movies based off of some of the characters, like a Raging Bull parody with Flappy's dad in his boxing career, like his barback and the bare knuckle boxing career, wherever this book takes place. And part of me wants to do a really cheesy Cool Runnings-esque, they don't belong here, what are they doing here? Like hurling movie where the Lugnuts rally to win the championship, even though they are just like a division too small or something. They're from a small town. Right. It would be more like The Big Green than Cool Runnings, I guess.
Oh my God. Yeah. What a good movie.
Just a cheesy underdog sports movie. So I think we have options, especially 2 Ron, 2 Carnage, which I'm quickly falling in love with.
Tokyo Drift, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that would be it.
Oh, God. That's so funny. Yes.
But what I wanted to talk about a little bit today. Oh, sorry. Did I cut you off?
No, the thought of the sequel. Yeah, man.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You sent me a picture of you sending the stuff off, and I had to assume you felt good coming from Elemental and the stuff you've worked on for the past year. It's kind of the first non-podcast your team has come up with. Is that right?
I just can't believe that it happened. Like this, like the podcast that we do is just such a, I mean, I don't want to keep saying we don't take it seriously because I think we actually do, but that was just such a weird offhand thing. Like none of us planned, like if you were a character in a novel and then I just randomly said Don Carnage and now there's a fucking novel that is in a publisher's inbox. Like that just seems like not real life to me.
Yeah.
You know?
A few months later. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a couple months, man. It's, yeah. Yeah, weird.
We already got like 4 projects going on now. I haven't even sold the first one, but we'll probably keep beating that horse. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about the stories that are also in production or also not on the docket, but stuff that's come up between us in the past and last week. And maybe we could do it with a little old-timey radio to convey to the audience some of the stories that either they're going to miss out on for sure, or we will eventually keep using these bits as the weeks go on. But the first one was last week when I was talking about my first experience trading stocks. And
as a day trader.
That's right, as a day trader. And we were talking about artificial intelligence and how Megan told Alexa to use the phrase pee-pee boy. So we thought a little bit about like a SpongeBob, Barnacle Boy type superhero movie featuring the finance boy and the pee-pee boy. And it goes a little something like this in my head.
And now for the adventures of Finance Boy and Pee-pee Boy. There's corruption in Chicago. We must go bring justice to the Windy City.
Yes, but can we afford to get there?
Yes, can't you add?
Yes, I'm the finance boy. Of course I can add. Right, okay, well then let's go.
Hold on, I have to go to the bathroom.
Classic pee-pee boy.
That's it. That's kind of the gist. I don't know if we can make a whole book out of that, but the adventures you had used the phrase, I think, finance and pee-pee boy adventures last week. So in my head, that's how it would play out. They would fight crime, but constantly be delayed in their lack of ability to do either of the things that are maintained in their name. The other one was kind of a throwback to the first thing that we ever recorded and shared with each other. It was about the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if you remember this at all. Do you remember the Buffalo Bills idea for like a murder mystery thriller?
So you had sent me in a recording on Dropbox 5 years ago. It was an MP3 file called Jokes to Cheer Up Tom. And it was because I had just got broken up with, and there were a lot of other things going on, and I was in like the worst depression of my life. And you sent me kind of a little stand-up routine that I still have in my Dropbox.
Yeah, don't play it. But what I wanted to, I was just looking through some old notes for this week's show, and after you had sent the book to Ron Carnage or to the publisher, I thought of the Adventures of Finance and Pee-pee Boy. But I also thought of this Buffalo Bills story that I still kind of want to do because it's still funny to me. But I think as the story went or the joke went, there was some kind of crime that happened to occur on the premises of the Bills facility, and which kind of forced the team to release a statement saying like, our thoughts go out to X, Y, or Z or whatever. I forget what happened. And at the end of the letter or the statement, it said, "We'll do everything in our power to help bring justice for the family," or whatever. And this shows how dated this is, but, the Bills made the playoffs this year, but for the past, 20, they had not. So this was, in the peak of their not doing so well. So the basis of the movie was either the team moves or, it's like a disgruntled fan reading a paper in a coffee shop in Buffalo would be like, they can't even win a football game. How are they going to solve this mystery thriller? So. But the thing is, the players in the movie would never change out of their uniforms, just add Sherlock Holmes style garb from the 1800s on top of their shoulder pads and stuff, like overcoats. And so they would join up forces with the police force and stuff. And I just pictured a bunch of chubby cops eating donuts, rolling their ankles, walking over curbs. And then the health team, all the trainers from the team going over and taping their ankle and hey, it's tough out there today. Yeah, and then them just drinking coffee and eating donuts while their ankles get taped. And then a bunch of very large athletic looking people in full pads in a smoky basement looking over projector files and then smashing their glasses down and pushing a bunch of files and folders off the desk damn it, we're never going to solve this thing. And but just in a bright blue, red, and white football uniform.
With the helmets.
And they have no faith. The people of Buffalo have no faith in the Bills to do anything, let alone solve this tragic murder. And they only have each other. And that's it. That's the whole thing. But I was looking through, I just chuckled when I saw that. It was still in an old notebook I had pulled out. So if people enjoy Ron Carnage when it comes out, if it comes out, which it will. We've talked about it on the show before. In some way, we'll put it out. But yes, I have a feeling the Buffalo Bills murder mystery thriller would come out before The Adventures of Finance Boy and PP Boy. But anyway, that's just we can move on from there. But I felt it was worth bringing up at the very least. I hope it did bring a smile to your face all those years ago when that did happen.
That was the part that really stuck out to me. You sent me like a 15-minute stand-up routine, and you were like just rushing through it, you know, but God, that part, I did laugh. I remember just my mattress on the floor, no box spring, no bed frame.
Where were you, in Arlington?
Yeah, I was in Arlington before I moved in with Shane. I was living where we recorded the 2 EPs, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was some wild times in that apartment.
Yeah, man, just thinking that was so funny. Like the concept of full pads and a helmet with a magnifying glass dusting for fingerprints, just like a room full of football players.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, just taking their mouthpiece out to talk and stuff. Like, you know, to me, just, yeah, I'm pretty sure it would win a wardrobe Oscar. I can't be sure. Eventually, when we earn our EGOT, that'll be how we get the Oscar, I'm sure.
Sure.
But anyway, real quick before we move on, you wanted to deliver a weird line in a play that you gave at the age of 14, and that's how you labeled it in the notes, and that's how I was going to set it up. If you need anything else, feel free to edit this part, but I was just going to set you up with that, and feel free to, you had the stage, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I did theater when I was a kid from like 6th to 8th grade or something. I only did it for a couple, like short period of time. But I was in Wind in the Willows. I had the opening line, and I was like a workout squirrel, I guess, like in all neon like warmers. And it came up because I was talking to Megan about it the other day. The word horticulture came up, and that word is just super triggering for me because the line in the play was, "My coach is holding a session for squirrels in horticulture," which is already kind of a hard thing to get out.
Say it again, slowly, please.
My coach is holding a session for squirrels in horticulture. So,
what the
okay, so it was the opening line, and there was no context. It was kind of like a montage of spring kind of things happening. So I didn't know what the horticulture was, first of all. But I am haunted by the way I delivered this line for like 27 straight performances. This is the way I said it. My coach is holding a session for squirrels in horticulture. And
so happy.
And to this day, I will never get over the fact that I said it. My coach is holding a session. Like, I sound like such a pompous little brat. Like, why did I put emphasis on the word my? And I know that no one else in the world remembers me doing this. So to waste any mental effort thinking about this and how stupid I probably looked is absolutely useless. But
I think it's important to reflect on just to keep yourself humble.
My coach is holding a session for squirrels in horticulture. Like, what is that?
That's the best thing. My coach is holding a squirrel session in horticulture. It's like a child actor bit on SNL Weekend Update or something.
Like, I should have been wearing like boat shoes and salmon colored shorts, you know, like
very, very no shortage of gel in the hair. You know, done up very well. Kind of like in the movie The Little Rascals, the Macaulay Culkin looking rich kid who it might have been Macaulay Culkin, but no, it wasn't. But he drove the nice go-kart that had like the spikes that came out of the wheels, and he almost killed Alfalfa. It was an oddly violent scene. Yeah, like your name would be Joffrey or something.
So, anyways, I was also an evil...
Can you deliver it one more time? Not to mock you, but I want to say it once after that too, because I just want to really remember the words to it.
My coach is holding a session for squirrels in horticulture.
Okay, let me see if I got it. He's holding a session?
Yes.
For squirrels?
Yes.
In horticulture? What? Can you give me a quick rundown of horticulture, first of all, just, for Matt? He might not know.
I still don't know. I think it's agriculture related.
Okay. And like a session for squirrels. Are you dissecting squirrels? Do you have any idea? Like, what's your motive?
No, I was a
what's
squirrel.
Your why in this scene?
I'm a squirrel in this play.
Oh, you're the squirrel.
Yeah, in workout gear.
So you were playing an animal.
Yeah, it's Wind in the Willows. It's all animals.
So growing plants. Okay, so you weren't a human dissecting squirrels. You were a talking squirrel who was going to learn how to grow plants good.
Yes, real good.
And you go to grammar school the next year after that. Well, that's a lot to unpack, man. I think we could do a whole show just on that line, quite frankly. A review of the show in general. I love it. I love that you shared that. And would you like to move on?
No, I would not, because my other character in this show was an evil weasel, and I got to dress up like a goth. I had black skinny jeans, a black button-up shirt with like patches of fur sewn to it, but we would put like this dark eyeliner on and paint our fingernails black. And back in 7th grade, I wanted to be goth, but my mom wouldn't let me.
Ooh.
And I was still in Catholic school, so I'd come to school with the eyeliner and the fingernails painted black, and they'd be like, "You can't wear makeup." I'm like, "Well, it's from a play. I can't get it off." And they would just kind of let it go. And it was just like my time to really just be the goth I always wanted to be.
How did it feel?
Some kids made fun of me, but I kept my head up, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I liked my theater friends, and that was a very, very, very fun musical to be in. It was a very small cast, and I had a great time. Now we can move on.
Well, that's, I guess. I mean, you just laid even more. I mean, that line about the horticulture itself has a lot going for it in terms of super, at least to me, maybe not to anybody else. There's just a lot there to unpack, like we've said. And then you lay the goth, evil other animal on us with an anecdote about keeping the makeup. I don't know. I feel like there's more there. And, but we can move on.
Okay.
We can move on.
What are we moving on to?
Horticulture, actually. It's funny you mentioned that.
And now for Drunken Nostalgic Millennial. I had skater shoes, man. I could do a fucking kickflip. I'll do a kickflip.
Mom, I cut holes in the sleeves of my hoodie so I keep my thumbs warm. Everybody is cutting holes in their hoodie sleeves, Mom.
I fucking uploaded a video to YouTube like 20 years ago, man. Man, if we stuck with it, we'd be famous, bro.
I still listen to Dashboard Confessionals and MTV Unplugged session. It's so good.
Virtua Tennis for Dreamcast is super underrated, and my mom bought me the console by mistake. But I don't care. I don't care.
Remember when Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind won the Oscar, and then Russell Crowe started beating people up so much, and Master and Commander came out, and it was just as good, but everyone was like, we don't like it. We don't like you anymore. And it was a good movie though. And it was like 2004, I think.
That was Drunken Nostalgic Millennial. I don't get that one at all, dude.
No, that's kind of the point. Just like delving deeper into the psyche without a real roadmap.
So I don't even know if we've talked about this on the show, but I am moving out of this apartment in a couple weeks here. And we found a duplex house that we really liked, cheaper than what we're paying here, with a yard, not fenced in. We were very excited about it, met with the owners, and they loved us. And out of nowhere, the house wasn't even on the market, but they just sold it. So we were back to square one, didn't have a place to live. And I don't typically think that everything happens for a reason, but we were able to find an even bigger duplex with a fenced-in yard for the little puppers, with a full basement, with a studio room down in the basement. It can set the drums up. Megan can have her little herbalism processing area down there. We're going to turn the basement into like a third bedroom. And the owners were super dope. The wife that lives there actually takes classes where Megan works.
Whoa.
And the husband is an animator and he does some voiceover work. And I'm just so hyped. So hyped. The only setback is they needed us to move in February. And our lease isn't up until March. So we are going to be paying 2 rent payments next month for a grand total of $3,200.
Yeah.
That's going to be
brutal.
It's brutal, but the money that my dad had set aside for our wedding, he's just overnighted a check to me so that we can, rather than enjoy more of our honeymoon in Kauai, we are going to be paying rent on 2 fucking places.
You should go to the empty one that you move out of later in that month and treat it like your writing apartment and then write the sequel to Ron Carnage.
Well, I do like the fact that we can move over the span of a month, but also
That is kind of nice, yeah.
we were thinking we should empty this apartment, leave just a futon, and Airbnb it for like $40 a night, like something ridiculously cheaper than anyone else is doing, and make some of that money back.
I think that's a splendid idea.
Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, we're gonna be
It's splendid, Tom.
we're gonna be still
It's a really
outside of
fucking good idea.
So we're still going to be outside of Denver, which means Levi, the little pit bull refugee, can live within its limits. We are a block away from the Denver border. But dude, this place is so sick. I'm so hyped. The kitchen is this insane creamsicle orange color that when I first saw it, was like, I can't live in this fucking house with this awful color in the kitchen. But by the time I left the house, I kind of loved it. It's pretty 50s diner charming in a way. So,
Whoa.
yeah, so we were kind of thinking for a place that big, we're going to try to make it look nice. If we're going to stay in Denver for a while, just stay there for like, don't move after a year, Yeah, I'm excited.
It does make things easier when you don't move again.
Right. So yeah, I'm excited. The money situation sucks, but basically she had 2 people with $3,000 in hand to give her the deposit and the first month rent, and she liked us more, so she offered it to us. We're basically giving her $1,500 for the first month of just like rent, and then in March we are gonna have to pay rent again, and then she'll let us split the deposit over 4 months to make it a little more manageable. I'm doing these editing jobs now, which I should be making like an extra $500 a month doing that. The adventure continues even further in Denver, and I'm excited to be recording from a new studio where the only people above the studio is us. It'll be our bedroom above there. So if I just shut the bedroom door, there's not going to be anyone walking above the studio while we're recording. And oh, Pat, I'm so excited. So excited.
Well, you should be. I feel like you've earned it. Like this is a better situation, right? You have not found an ideal Denver situation so far, right?
Right. I mean, this place has a lot of storage. Like I said, a basement the size of the whole like duplex. It's 1,000 square feet. And it's actually $130 cheaper than what we're paying for this place, which is just a terrible apartment. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be in the car an extra 25 minutes a day for my commute, but I'm trying to get a new job anyways. So,
Well, there you go.
we'll see how it goes.
I guess we will.
That's all I really wanted to say.
I guess we will. And then the sun's going to rise tomorrow. And, hey, guys, we're just going to have to take another whack at it, And the wheel in the sky keeps on turning, So here we are, all just trying our best, So.
Yup.
And, Yorp. No, I'm excited for you, obviously. And the Denver adventure continues.
Yeah. And tomorrow, or Tuesday, the 30th of January, will be my 1-year anniversary at Tesla.
Oh.
It's crazy. It's still crazy that
you are in a little bit of a different position than you were when we started this show.
Yeah.
I think it's fair Fair to say, you are a stock holding finance boy now.
It hasn't been invested yet, but I have about 5 shares worth of stocks, Tesla stock, ready to go in February.
So they will actually be acquired in February?
Yes. They're in like a holding
employee thing plan?
Yeah, they're like in a holding account right now. And then when the 6-month window closes, they invest the money that I had at the cheaper of the 2 dates from when the window closed or opened with a 15% discount or something. So it's a good deal. I definitely need that money though. It's been 7% of my paycheck pre-tax going into that for the past 6 months, and it is killing me. So,
right.
But that's not interesting or funny. So let's put that to rest. Do you want to do songs for people to listen to for next week?
Sure. Can we do the quarter life crisis asthma attack thing again, or you want to
right now?
No, I'm kidding. That's it's my dream for someone to laugh at that. Yeah, let's do songs. I'm gonna do a book, if you don't mind.
I'm just joking.
We don't even review the songs anymore next week.
I'm just
That's the one thing I don't get. Like, I don't know.
I'm just joking, dude.
Hey, man, I know it's fucking funny. No, that has seemed to perturb you a bit, but nonetheless, did you watch or read The Martian by Andy Weir?
I think we had a conversation about it. I thought the movie was garbage compared to the book.
That's a totally fair reaction to everything that was just said. Yeah, that's fine. I liked the book a lot, and he's coming out with a new book called Artemis. It's about a heavily colonized moon that orbits the Earth, or the moon, I guess. You know, the moon you've all been hearing so much about. But and yeah, either it already came out late last year, or is coming out soon. I think it came out in 2017. But I just requested it from the library. I'm excited. If it's anything like The Martian, then you should be in good shape. So that's my recommendation for this week. Yeah, or you could just go read some Ray Bradbury shit about Mars and get your extraterrestrial fix, if you will. But yeah, Artemis. That's my recommendation.
I just want to say the contrast between us is so funny because you requested it from the library and I downloaded The Martian on Audible and had it read to me as an audiobook.
Audiobooks are easier, but it's not as fun or gratifying. Also, it's like more work for me to listen to somebody, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay, okay. It was the first audiobook I ever listened to, and I fell in love with it. I actually signed up for Audible because of that book. And we are actually now Audible affiliates. I wish we had our link to give to people so that they can download that book for free from Audible.
You're still mad. You have instructed me to start recommending books. And you're still scoffing every time I stray from the song recommendation.
I'm just joking.
It sounds like it, and I'm in on it. So we're just having fun here, folks.
We're just having fun, Pat.
I just made you 15 cents, you ungrateful son of a bitch. And if somebody downloads it, they'll make you 37 cents.
Anyways. John. My song of the week.
I'm saving my own.
You can't handle my ass.
This company's got, yeah, really. Why don't you wipe my ass with your bare hand, you son of a bitch? This company's going under. So look at all the rats leaving the sinking ship. God damn it.
So I'm
sweating from speaking that way for that short amount of time.
So my song of the week
to everybody. I'm sorry for everything.
Is specifically for Amanda. It is a band called Tiny Moving Parts. And I've been hearing a lot about them lately. And their new album came out the same day as The Dangerous Summers, which have been my past 2 recommendations. They have a song called Applause that I really like. And I know Amanda mentioned that she liked the recommendation of Direct Hit like forever ago. And this band, it's a little bit of that vibe. I don't think it's one that's going to stick with me like forever, but I'm enjoying it right now. And I will put a link in the show notes to both the book and maybe a local library finder in the show notes, and the music video for this song at elemental.fm/reminiscent/62. That's where you can find.
Can we do a
all
fallback
that.
Friday to appreciate your music recommendation from a few weeks ago, Death of a Bachelor by
Ooh.
Panic at the Disco?
Ooh. It's a good one.
It's taking me a little time, but that song rips. It is quite good.
I'm also trying to get a suit like his for my wedding.
That would be nice.
It's pretty
He looks
baller.
good. He looks good. Sounds like the rest of the band's not with him anymore, but
Right.
we talked about this when you visited Cincinnati. If you watch the music video for The Man by The Killers off their latest record, and you watch that back to back with Death of a Bachelor, it's kind of like early 2000s stars, both as washed up Vegas acts. And like, I don't know if it makes me feel old necessarily, but it's weird watching them grow up into like middle-aged men.
Yeah.
Anyway, a week's later appreciation of that recommendation. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Of course.
And yeah, I think that should just about do it.
Yeah. I should.
Yeah. All right, then.
All right. Well,
Also, I gave blood a few days ago and there's still a bruise on my arm. I will give a bruise update next week, so stay tuned.
sounds good, man. Thoughts and prayers. Love you, dude.
Love you too, man. Bye.
Bye.
ba 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 ba